Hey everyone, I'm Northern Queen Alexis and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do a review analysis thing for Hammer and Bolter's Death's Hand. Before I get into this, if you are using this video to watch the Hammer and Bolter series, there are easier ways to do it, okay? I'm going to be pausing every like 10 seconds to avoid copyright because the gods know that GW loves their copyright issues. So, without further ado, let's get into this. We're going to talk about some of the lore and some of the cooler things in the background so you don't really get to see when you first watch this. And if you haven't seen Hammer and Bolter, a lot of it is very much low-budget animation slash like animated webcomic for the most part. It's pretty decent for what it is, though if they just put this on HBO or something better, it probably would have done a lot better than Warhammer Plus, because Warhammer Plus kind of sucks. But let's get into this. Let's go ahead and restart. I watch these videos every week on my Discord. So if you are part of my Patreon, you get into my Discord for free. And from there, you could just watch this along with us. And because I can't hear without subtitles, we're going to throw subtitles on. Warhammer Wowzers! Okay, so right off the bat, we actually have the Emperor's Tarot deck. And this is something really cool because my Emperor's Tarot deck is right here. Okay? And I have my own Emperor's Tarot deck. So the cards that he's picking, and yeah, it actually is a tarot deck. Like, it's really cool. I think the first one that he picks is, let's see. I kind of forget this.
Sundering.
Sundering. Let's see if I can find that one. The Heretic, the Xenos. Siege, Sisters of Battle, Agents. But yeah, this is going to take me a while, so I'm not going to go through them. But Emperor's Tarot deck. I actually use this in my RPGs. Quite a lot. Let's put that off to the side. Oh yeah, Warhammer Plus doesn't work when you click.
The Emperor's light is the only light. That which he illuminates, the only path. The Harbinger and the Fool.
So some of the cool things that you'd like to know about this, that I had to find out personally, is a lot of that is Blanche's artwork. In fact, the entire tarot deck, for the most part, is like the older tarot deck. Is a lot of it is Blanche's work. Sorry, I am stumbling over my words. But let's take a look at this Inquisitor really quickly. We actually get a close-up view of his armor. And he is wearing power armor. It is really cool to see the sigil right here of the 3 points, which is Ordo Hereticus. Let's see, what else do we have on his armor? It's ornate, and it looks like it has Quicksilver in it.
Either. Both.
Turn the last card.
The faceless void, an ignominious end. Death is coming. Even now he waits at your door.
Ooh.
Measure your next steps with care, Inquisitor.
My thanks, Gaius Andor. You have served the Emperor as we all must. This cruel universe will not remember your name. But trust that I shall.
So there's a bolt pistol. Pretty simple. Nothing really to talk about here.
What did he see, Lord?
The same as the others.
I hate that every time I go to the video.
Burn it.
So, cool thing right here. One, she's really cute and I love her. She's a Sister of Battle, and then we have a Tempestus Scion with a I think that's a heavy flamethrower. It might be a regular flamethrower, but it has the backpack, so I'm inclined to believe that it's the heavy flamethrower. But it's really cool to see like Sisters of Battle in different types of armor. Like she's got the cape on her, the furs all across her, and her cape is more ornate than a regular battle sister's.
Burn it. Burn everything.
That is a lot of lost knowledge. That is a shit ton of lost knowledge. I hate that every single time I move my mouse, this pops up. I wish that wasn't the case. I like how his cape is designed, and a lot of this does remind me of Boondocks.
Will there be any astropaths left before you're done with this?
There is a fate line somewhere, Sienna. One that does not see my end. I will find it.
I wonder if I just
Not
do
all
this.
futures can
No.
be divined. The ripples...
No, this just... I wish this wasn't here. It's just going to be there as far as I move my mouse. So what this character is trying to do now is defy fate. Now what's cool is we're going to learn that he has a Eldari on his party. His inquisitorial retinue, which I think is really cool. Also, one quick thing that we can point out, if you compare the Sister of Battle armor to his armor, one, he is much taller than the Sister of Battle. He is not a Space Marine. His power pack is built into his suit, so his suit constantly refreshes power, similar to how the Sororitas backpack is a thermonuclear generator, like all Space Marine backpacks are. But her backpack can actually regulate better so it doesn't burn up energy. Sister of Battle armor is actually better designed than most Space Marine armor, and this is canon lore. It's not as good as the Primaris armor that has just come out, but in earlier lore, Sister of Battle armor was always regulated, always had power to it, where Space Marine's power armor would only last for a few days. But what he is wearing is called heavy power armor. I know, big difference there. Across it, he has a lot of insignias and everything, and a lot of these probably protect him from the threat unknown, which would be demons and cultists, and anybody who is trying to worship the darker gods would have a harder time seeing him because of all the glyphs on him. It's really cool because a lot of these upgrades are in Dark Heresy. We can see that he has a built-in comm. More than likely, this is just a comlink or a mind impulse unit into his head. We don't know what it is for, but we know that it's there.
To conclusion.
Can they not? The Eldari believe so.
See?
You still hold that those Xenos and their witch seers would help us.
We have an...
I like this. I like how she pronounces Xenos. She pronounces it as Xenos. And it's cool little things like this that give the universe a bit more flavor, because it's different accents talking about different things. Also, in her ear right here, which you can't see. Whoop, there we go. There it is. That is a Vox bead.
Enemy in common.
That has not prompted them to kindness before.
True enough.
A thought for tomorrow. Today...
A thought for tomorrow is a funny way of ending a letter in the Imperium. I just thought that was cool. Thought of the day or thought of tomorrow is the way that they send off letters. And it's cool to see that she is not necessarily against using Xenos help, but she doesn't believe that they will help. So I like that a lot.
Certain of this, if we do not leave for Terra soon, we shall be late for your investiture.
There is time yet. They can hardly begin the ceremony without me.
That's fair.
Inquisitor Arturo has docked. He's waiting for you in the receiving chamber. He's come to escort you to Terra.
Now, this face. Why isn't this face a meme? This face should be a meme. Anyway, so what's happening right now is he's being ordained. He's getting a higher, not a higher rank, but he's getting more recognized by the Imperium itself for greater deeds. More than likely going to get another good boy sticker like the ones on his shoulder. But a lot of Inquisitors actually question this from other Inquisitors. And this is how Inquisitors police themselves, is Inquisitors will question Inquisitors because they both have the same power. They both have absolute power in the Imperium. So a lot of them will clash with each other depending on different belief systems. Like for him, for instance, he is a radical. He is willing to use anything to change his fate currently, including using and even dealing with the Eldari, which is extremely dangerous. Well, to the Imperium. Gilliman does it and it's perfectly fine, because whatever. But a lot of Inquisitors, Puritan Inquisitors, would see this as an act of heresy and want to do a full investigation of him, or even kill him, depending.
Is he alone?
No, he has a retinue of 4.
I'll need my effects. I've got...
A retinue of 4 is the average for a Dark Heresy party, by the way. It's the GM and 4 friends. It works best at 4 or 5. At 6, it becomes really unbalanced and really easy to break the system.
And the others meet us there.
You're expecting trouble?
Yes.
Wake Turk and reset his kill count.
Now, we're going to learn a lot about this Turk guy in a second. And it's really cool because it's one of my favorites. So, let's take a look at this team. Now, this is before the big reveal of this character right here. So we got Inquisitor Turk. Inquisitor Turk has a power sword, and it's more like a saber, and I think it's really cool. We have a Scry, which is, somebody that takes notes and everything. We find out later that this has actually been replaced by a Calidus assassin. We have a Catachan, which is really cool, and you also get to see the height of the Catachans compared to the height of everybody else. Catachans are bigger than the average human. They stand, from what I've gathered, they stand about 6 foot on average and only grow from there. Where people born in the Void are very thin and lengthy, can grow up to about 7 foot in length. Catachans are bulky because of their world's conditioning. So, really cool to see a Catachan. And then we have the Enforcer.
And welcome.
So now we get to see his retinue. We have a Ganger over on the side. Really cool because he looks like an Orlok. We have the Tempestus Scion that we saw earlier. Actually, this is a different one. Looks like he has a... if this wasn't here, I could tell you. I wish there was a way to get this down. Just like, fuck off with this. Like, can that go away? Seriously. But we have the Sister of Battle. She looks more like a novitiate than a battle sister. We have the Eldari Ranger with his sword on his back.
It is good to see.
Now, we did get a chance to see Turk. Turk is a murder servitor, and murder servitors were made popular in the Inquisitor tabletop game, which was a 32mm game, which was really interesting. It's cool because they have 2 power claws instead of what regular servitors have.
You, my old friend.
Old friend?
So now we can see his mind impulse unit, his extra. So more than likely he is some type of pilot. Or at least has piloted before, because we can see the breach out of his neck. Cool things in Warhammer 40k, when you pilot a vessel of any description, aerial vessel or naval vessel, there's this thing that plugs into the back of your head, and you need a mind impulse unit in order to pilot the thing correctly, because of how quickly the information goes into your head to pilot the aircrafts in 40k, which I think is absolutely insane and kind of awesome.
It feels like yesterday we were wasting our evenings with Amasek and dice.
It was a century ago.
And now, you stand on the precipice of greatness.
So they're both over 100.
Investiture. On terror, no less. Bureaucracy comes for us all, in the end.
So now we get to see him. The other one was an Imperial preacher.
You shouldn't have come.
You knew that someone would, eventually.
And the investiture? Is this just the cover you needed to board my vessel?
Yes.
It's as real as anything else. But what difference does it make?
You know, then.
About your obsession with the tarot. About the Eldari? Yes.
Of course he knows. He's an Inquisitor.
We almost died at Antioth, Arturo. The arch-enemy knew our every move. We handed them 100 worlds. Billions died. Even with your limited psychic ability, tell me you cannot still hear their screams.
There was nothing more we could have done.
But what if we could have? What if we knew?
Okay, so this is actually a really good debate between these two characters. One believes that they could have changed the fates and changed the past and everything and prevented the fall of Cadia and the 100 worlds next to it. And that's something. Like, that is something that should be looked into by the Inquisition. But that should be looked into by the Ordo Cronus, not the Ordo Hereticus. Although he could be Ordo Hereticus and Ordo Cronus with a Minoris in it.
Are not gods. We have only the certainty of the moment.
Also, can we just talk about this dude's brass knuckles actually being the mark of the Inquisition? Absolutely amazing. We also have a monotask servo skull just writing down everything. These things are super helpful if you ever play Dark Heresy because they can actually give you a perfect memory because they've written it down. Just keep them out of combat.
Only the Emperor can divine the future.
And yet, he has given us the foresight to wield such tools as might.
We cannot stack the deck, Kiyomaru. We must play the hand we are dealt.
Very well.
And the creature's dead. Now we have a cane sword. Cane swords are really cool in Dark Heresy because they are mono, which means that they can actually push apart atoms. They don't split atoms, but they just push them apart, making it easier. Kind of like a power sword, but not as effective. Needs a lot more force behind it. So it's cool to see a power sword versus a monomolecular cane saber. So she has a last pistol, so yeah, that is an Abyssea.
Kiyomaru!
I like his fencing style, and right there, we actually got to see the force field that he has active.
Damn you, Kiyomaru!
So right here. Right there, we actually did get to see part of the force field activate, as well as the power field deflecting off of his armor. Heavy power armor is something that I wish would see tabletop play, because I guarantee it would give like a 2-up save.
You invite ruin!
You've come to see it done!
Here,
Someone must stand in your way!
the fact that he's able to keep up with that little rinky-dink sword against the giant power armor and the big broadsword, I have a sneaking suspicion that he's taking some type of stims, maybe like salt or Furon, I think it's called. But essentially it's a fury drug, which is my guess. It'll bulk them out quite a bit and allow them to match strength with even that of a Space Marine. Remember when we talk 40k lore, Space Marines are considered like super soldiers. Yes, that's cool. But they're also considered standard soldiers. Like, it takes 10 guardsmen to take on one Marine. But it takes 10 guardsmen to kill that one Marine. So in 40k's lore, there have been several stories where normal dudes have taken a lot of combat drugs and have gone toe-to-toe and even killed Space Marines. In fact, this happens on Necromunda regularly. Now, that's a cool little thing right there. So what happened when the lasgun hit is it vaporizes what it hits, so it explodes out. The fact that it didn't blow apart his entire arm is a testament to how tough and how different muscle mass is on Catachan compared to the rest of the Imperium. Right here, we also get to see a shotgun, and it's cool. We get to see the judge's symbol on here. She looks very cool in her Enforcer carapace armor. I absolutely love this person right now. They're there are a few things we can talk about with the shotgun. Shotguns in 40k are insane, okay? And I don't get why they're not used more often on the tabletop. So they have different types of shells that they can use, including shells that spread, obviously, shells that punch through almost anything and are really deadly, shells filled with poison, shells filled with acid, and all sorts of things. Like, essentially, if they make a bolt round, they make a shell round for a shell cartridge for a shotgun equivalent.
Must it be you?
Scratch dodges, which is uncanny. The cards that are revealed are the cards that are the same fate. Nice punch.
I wish you'd understood.
Now, his Sigil of the Inquisition only has one line on it. My theory is that that is Ordo Minoris. Because it's not full Hereticus, which it has the 3 sigils, where the middle one is the longest of the 3, where like Ordo Xenos and the other Ordo Malleus, they have ones, but their lines are typically different shapes when GW remembers this. Half the time they don't remember their own lore. Dodges again. Gets set on fire. The Ganger is a Desperado. I think that's really cool. This animation reminds me of the Boondocks. Even he's surprised by the assassin. So, cool things. Originally, these assassins had phase blades, and these were capable of cutting even through force fields because they were Necron technology originally. They've long since retconned that, but I really liked it when Necrons would be able to cut through invulnerable saves and cut through shielding and everything because they know the exact timing of the shield's pulse and everything, and they could just phase right through it. But they've done away with that, and now it's just called a phase blade, and it bugs me. Bolt pistol, last pistol, nothing. It's cool she doesn't kill her.
It seems you're not the face of death today.
I love this. Just right through his sword, right through him, just instantly dead outline. He's got 2 bionic arms. Means nothing.
Turk, now!
God, I love murder servitors so much. They are so cool. So these things have... Alright, there's a lot to explain about murder servitors. One, they don't have a mind. They have been lobotomized and everything about them is pure rage. Okay? Once they're unleashed, they don't stop until a kill counter is reached. And it is amazing, and I absolutely love these creatures. Because they are great basic enemies for... Not basic, but like boss enemies for your Dark Heresy, Rogue Trader, Black Crusade games. They can kill almost anything. They are terrifying. They can rip apart Space Marines. They can rip apart Chaos Demons. They are absolutely insane. It's like having a Penitent engine that... Actually, it's like having a Penitent engine. So the cool thing about that one is it has a blast collar, but it's built into it. So this blast collar around around their neck is actually embedded into their chest. And it is a bomb capable of stopping them and blowing them to bits. And it's for the safety of everyone who uses these things. They are absolutely crazy, and I love them. Yeah. Either. These things don't feel pain. So weirdly enough, bolt rounds, not actually that hard to dodge. Okay, so bolters are not There's only one round of them that is supersonic, but the rest of them fire at about 120 miles per hour. Convert that into non-American speed here for people who are actually in an intelligent country. But anyway, I'm in Iceland. I am in an intelligent country. But anyway, jokes aside, bolt rounds are actually surprisingly easy to dodge, and even Space Marines have the reaction time to dodge them. The average human, if they see the level of the gun, can actually dodge a bolt round. Granted, when it hits behind you and then explodes into shrapnel, good luck, but you can dodge the initial hit. And there's also a chance that it just hits you and doesn't detonate. It just hurts a lot. So, that kind of attack is really, really, really cool. So in Dark Heresy, one of my favorite things to do is called attacks, and you can destroy equipment that people are carrying, and it is one of the best ways in and out of an engagement. If somebody has a power sword, aim for their hand. If somebody has a power claw, aim for the circuitry on the power claw itself and destroy the weapon. Phase blades can even go around its power field to destroy it. But same applies. Whee! Low budget animation. Stab, stab.
Day denounces night!
And that's his kill trigger. Boom. Now, I believe Turk is dead at this point, because he got his neck crushed.
What shall I do with her?
Take her to the cell.
Also, she never unleashed her sword in that entire thing. So, one of the cool things about the Emperor's Tarot is you can draw upon it if you're non-psyker, and you can do card tricks with them as well. Caiaphas Cain is very well known for doing card tricks with them and pretending to be a psyker on occasion, or just telling people's fortunes for money, where he was just full of shit. But psychers can actually attune to the deck, and with that, look into the fate of the universe around them. And they can even ask the Emperor a question and possibly get communications through the Emperor himself. But the Emperor's Tarot is also dangerous because it puts your mind in an uneasy spot, and it becomes you can get corrupted using it. So you got to be careful with the Emperor's Tarot. As with everything in 40k. Okay. So I know a lot of people got a little bit upsketty about this part, like, oh, how are there hooks of bloodletter skulls in this room? You'll see them in just a second. So more than likely, those skulls are from people who are possessed by bloodletters, and a bloodletter will horribly mutate your body until you resemble its form. It helps them stay in the universe a lot easier than the imagery of them in the universe itself. They'd much prefer possession over any type of what is the word? Manifestation into the universe. Possession means that they can stay longer. Manifestation means they can be banished once they've achieved their goals. People have fought them back, or somebody of higher willpower just tells them to fuck off. I'm not kidding by that, by the way. You can beat demons in 40k by telling them to fuck off enough. And then they will. If your willpower is insanely high and you are very smart or very strong or very stupid or very confident, you can tell a demon to fuck off and it'll just disappear. And this applies to all of them.
Who sent you to kill me? I will not ask again.
Yes, you will. Now, within their veins is something called polymorphine. Not polymorphine. No, is it that? I forget, but it's the shape-shifting drug that allows them to take any form, but it also allows them to break down and move their body at will, so they can actually just dislocate bones and everything and then pull the bones into their body. It's creepy, and it's insanely cool, and I love it. But these shackles can prevent that from happening by finding the cells shifting around and electrocuting them so that they can't do it. Go figure.
Cellular inhibitors. I wonder, am I the first to wear them?
Who?
No.
I did not come here to kill you.
This tells a different story.
I also love this.
You cannot break me.
Many have claimed as much before.
It is never the many. It is the single crack that topples the walls of empires.
Ouch.
I do not fear you, assassin. You will not leave this chamber alive. Like the hundreds of others I have interrogated, you will tell me your truths and beg for release in death.
Yes, your deeds roll before you like the smoke of corpse pyres.
Fair.
You, Inquisitor, are by every account
Now I love this.
a
So
hard man,
they can just heal.
a capable man.
It's insane. This
A
drug
man
is
whose
insane
cruelty
in Dark
is
Heresy.
matched only
And I
by
highly recommend that if you play it, you grab it.
his arrogance. But the tarot cards.
No, she is not psychic at all.
You want answers.
Now these are just his Imperial robes. They have some layers of protection and some layers of fire protection, but they're not
For
really
all the
meant for
hardships
combat
you
or
have
anything.
endured, for all your training and resolve, for all of your might, did you ever consider that in this universe of horrors, there could be something worse?
You
Now, I
stand
love this.
unsteadily on that pulpit.
I love this because it's telling of the enemy beyond, which would be demons. Or the face of an enemy is not the one that you think it is.
I am not an acolyte or some unbloodied initiate. For almost 200 years, I have stared down the darkness.
Yes.
See, there's the blood-letter skull.
Heretics.
And there's a tail
Aliens.
skull. Look, no
Demons.
nose.
You have faced them all. But what of a child? What of a child orphaned by war?
No, I love this as well. Because it's his own doing that made this. So there
What
are
if
branches
need
of
and instinct
Tempestus
drove
Scions
that
that work
child to
alongside.
kill?
Okay, so that was a swamp rat too. But there are Tempestus Scions that work alongside Inquisitors. And there's, because they're the Inquisitorial Stormtroopers, it's just GW can't use the word Stormtrooper anymore because Star Wars sued them a while ago.
To
Or they got hit
master
with a
what
copyright
they
strike
must.
against it.
What if death was the only companion the child ever knew?
And he'd be an American. I'm joking.
What if this child was plucked from their world?
So
as
that's
you
Nicola Lander.
But instead of the hallowed halls of the Schola Progenium, they were taken by far harsher masters.
Yeah. I love this so much. Because it shows all the crazy shit
What
that they
if
put into
these
these
monstrous
assassins.
teachers cut away whatever humanity remained in the child and left behind nothing but a weapon?
They gave him a block. is cool to see all the inner workings of an assassin in this case, because we actually get to see that all of their spinal column is actually protected. So killing one of these is going to be insanely difficult. It shows that they have all of the necessary things for different types of armor to connect to them if they need it, or connection ports so that they can infiltrate places. They have, on the back of their head, they have a mind impulse unit so that they can connect to aircrafts or anything that they need. Assassins are insane in 40k.
You've spent your life trying to avoid death, but its child is here now.
You are a lethal thing. That fact I do not deny. But you, like all the rest, have failed.
Have I? Then
Yo,
where
Kozliogo
is
is
your
awesome.
armor? As I said, Inquisitor, I did not come here to kill you.
The Black Ship.
For all that you see and have seen, you are blind.
So this assassin is taking a shot from a black ship in space. Just to put into perspective how insane this is. Oh, and yes, you can shoot a gun in a vacuum. We have tested this before. I haven't personally, but NASA has, because NASA is situated in America. Of course, they're going to test a gun on the moon. Because why not? Maybe they need to fight moon men. Who knows? But the Exodus rifle. The Exodus rifle is one of the most insane weapons in 40k. It shoots a round that's about this big. I think it's a 50 cal, but it's far more than that. It's a 50 cal that essentially shoots a bolt rifle, a bolt round out of it. So it's a self-guided rocket that can either be a turbo penetrator round, a hypertoxic round, or it can be a different type of round, an Exodus round. And these things are designed to either kill tanks, kill people, kill anything that it needs to. There's a very limited number of shots that these things have, and their visor can detect any thermal. It can detect its night vision. It tracks people. It can show their heartbeat. It can read their body signatures. It can read all the way down to how much sweat is coming out of their body, the wind conditions, the non-wind conditions. It can triangulate attacks and everything. It can tell you how far away you can be to take the shot itself and still hit. And it conveys all of this information into the head of the assassin. And the weapon and the assassin are as one. They act at the same will. Act on the same will. Like, when the assassin thinks to shoot, the weapon shoots. And it's one of my favorite things about this weapon.
To an obvious truth. That here,
and the scope
where you
is called an
seem most
omniscope.
in control, you are also at your most vulnerable. My mission was simple. To bring you here. To have you sit there across from me, the famed interrogator, in the chair of his office. Lure. Witness. I came to play both roles.
I love this
And
episode.
I did not need to parse the schemes of fate to do it.
Vengeance. And he's dead. I do love that. The Fool is the card that stopped it.
You should have paid more attention to the tarot readers you burned like sump trash. Hubris is the weapon the fool uses to cut his own throat.
clothes, burns the body.
Did you get what you wanted?
Yes.
Good. Your investiture awaits.
She's so happy. I love
Well
her.
then, let us go and change the future.
She's so happy. So this actually begs the question, how many Inquisitors do you think have been replaced by Calidus assassins? Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was very fun, and it got an in-depth look at an inquisitorial party fighting another inquisitorial party while schemes were in works and everything. It didn't answer the question of which assassins were sent, who sent the assassins or anything, and it leaves all of these open-end questions, which is exactly what Warhammer 40k is all about. It's never answering a question, only answering a question with a question. Which I personally wish that there were endings to certain stories, but oh well. And like the show Love, Death, and Robots, none of the episodes in this series are connected. They're just different branches of different things, except for that robot episode. That in Love, Death, and Robots, that's actually a continuation. But anywho, that all said, I really enjoyed this episode. I want to know your thoughts on it. What did you guys think? Do you like the animation? Do you hate it? Personally, I view it as an animated webcomic, which makes it a lot easier for me to digest because it looks like... It honestly looks like something like... It looks like an animated webcomic. It looks like Boondocks on a lower budget. That's what I'm going to say. But I really liked the voice acting in it. I thought it was fantastic. The action scenes were really good. That scene with the assassin just floating past looked like somebody just clicked and dragged it. It was a bit bad. Overall, I give this like 7 out of 10. It's good. It's good. But yeah, tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts were. I want to hear them. I read every comment. As always, I'm Norn Queen Alexis. I love you guys. Bye.